Can Inferno set fire to the box office, or is it just going to fizzle away? Is there a new version of Dr. Cox? Twitter decides to end the Vine. And YouTube CEO talks about the comparison between YouTube and Netflix. I'm Ollamh, and welcome to Weathering the Front News.
This is the hour, the darkest place. Dante's Inferno, the devil's maze. It's a good world gone bad.
So for the box office numbers, we have Boo! A Madea Halloween at number 1 with 16.7 million. Inferno, the first weekend open, 15 million. Jack Reacher slips back to number 3 with 9.6 million. The Accountant sticks it out at number 4 with 8.7 or 8.5 million. And Ouija, The Origin of Evil at 7.1 million. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, this is a huge upset because, wow, Madea Halloween beat out two brand new movies. Beat out Jack Reacher and it beat out Inferno. But at the same time, you have to take into account that, well, it is that time. It is a very seasonal movie, so it's kind of got a limited shelf life. You're not going to go and see a Halloween movie in, a week before Thanksgiving, but you might go and see Inferno because that's not centered around a specific time of year. Also, Inferno only lost to Madea by $1.7 million, unlike Jack Reacher, which last weekend lost out by $4.6 million. And looking at this, I mean, there's people didn't go to the movies much this weekend. A lot of people had Halloween parties to go to that kind of prevented the idea of going to a movie. So, this weekend really isn't a really good weekend to look at as far as what's going to be a big hit. Is a Madea Halloween really going to have that staying power a couple weeks after Halloween? I'm willing to bet it's going to slip pretty quickly once Halloween's done and over with. Moving on to other news around the web, Vine is being officially shut down by Twitter. This came out Thursday, but it isn't as bad as some people are saying. A lot of people are saying, oh, that's it, Vine's dead, it's gone, it's buried, everything's just going to be erased. No, that's not the way things are working. As of right now, all they've really said is that they will be shutting down the mobile app in the coming months. This isn't really, doesn't really set a date. They're not saying that they're taking the entire website down. They're just ending the mobile app, which is what most people use to create and upload the Vines. Which begs the question of, well, what are they going to do with all of those Vines that are already created? And what are they going to do? How are they going to make use of this technology and this idea? Are they going to implement it into Twitter? Are they just going to let all the current Vines sit there and gestate? Or are they eventually going to take the entire site down? A lot of the creators that I know personally that have used Vine have moved on to, yes, YouTube and Facebook, but in particular, they've moved on to Snapchat more than anything else. Something where they get 10 seconds and it's just a small little thing and it stays up for about 24 hours and then it's gone. And then a lot of them, after everything's gone, about a week after they've uploaded their last thing to Snapchat, make like a week-long Snapchat video and put it up on YouTube. So they get both websites. Now, with the question of will Twitter bring Vine into being part of Twitter, that's kind of up in the air right now as they just cut 9% of their staff, or around 350 jobs, after the plans to sell Twitter to Disney fell through. Needless to say, with them cutting down their staff, they're probably not going to expand their services anytime soon. In television news, we have a new comedy horror show coming up called Stand Against Evil, starring John C. McGinley, playing an aging sheriff recently let go from the force due to an angry outburst, but winds up teaming up with the new sheriff to fight off demons hunting his town. Now, I have seen the first episode already, and it looks really, really good. It looks funny. It looks kind of dark. It looks interesting. It almost looks like, basically, what if Percival Cox had not gone into the medical field, but instead went into law enforcement in a small town. Now, the preview for the first episode is actually up on the IFC website, at least up until November 2nd, when it airs on IFC. Now, it looks like they are going to be airing the first 2 episodes back to back, which kind of sounds a little like they're kind of taking a page or two from Netflix and saying, well, we're going to produce our own show. We're not, we're going to do it decent, but it's not going to be like, big budget Hollywood effects. And we're going to have the whole thing kind of basically ready to go right at the beginning. And just kind of, okay, well, we're going to give them the first 2 episodes, so it's not, well, you have 1 episode and maybe you'll come back next week. It's, well, here's the first episode. You know what? Here's the next one right off the bat. It gives them a good chance to get people hooked on this show. And like I said, I've seen the first episode. It looks good. It looks like it could just be a really, really fun series to play out. And now a couple of pieces of YouTube news. The first one comes from the Wall Street Journal, who did an interview with YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki about the comparison between Netflix and YouTube. Now, she focused on YouTube being more creator-oriented. The fact that, you don't have to pitch the show, you don't have to get approval for the show, you don't have to get budgeting for the show. You kind of create your own thing, and they provide you with a hosting spot and a potential audience of billions. They kind of ask the questions as far as, well, with the content ID and stuff like that. And she kind of just glossed over, the potential problems with Content ID. She really focused on the rights holders being able just to say, well, this is our stuff. Here you are. If it's, if you notice something that is our stuff, we're going to give you the basics of what to do with it. She didn't really touch on, the copyright abuse as far as the entire Where's the Fair Use movement. She didn't really, she kind of looked at it as, well, YouTube is drastically different from Netflix, and it is. Yes, they're getting into YouTube Red, they're getting into subscription-based stuff, but that is kind of just coming about, and really they're taking basically their top creators and allowing them to flourish by giving them a budget and giving them something specific and saying, hey, we will help you make something better and make what you really want. And the biggest thing that she really talked about was the idea of, it's not an actor coming in and being placed in a new environment with new people and having to do and having to get used to that new environment. These are creators who are in their more normal, natural environment. You are doing what you are used to or what you are comfortable with, rather than being pushed into something new and you have to make it great right off the bat. And that is one of the big benefits of YouTube. Now, going into further YouTube news, Thursday, we talked about YouTube giving access to in-screen cards and the advantages of the feature. But after having played around with them, this isn't quite as wonderful as YouTube makes it sound. Yes, it is available on mobile devices, provided that those mobile devices are using the YouTube app. If they're just going to the mobile YouTube web page, those cards just don't show up. Just like the annotations didn't show up, those cards don't show up. So it's not just, oh, it's available on all mobile devices. If you have a Windows phone that doesn't have, they don't have a YouTube app for the Windows phone, you're not going to see any of the cards. This is something that they need to let creators know about, because if you place the cards on the end screen, but somebody's watching on a device that doesn't use the YouTube app, there's just big holes. There's just big blank spaces in your end screen. So it looks like you got nothing. It looks like you got 20 seconds of dead air. Basically, the best practice is still to add some kind of preview or something for that last 20 seconds. You can put the card over it, but having something there so that if somebody's on a mobile device or that doesn't allow the cards access, it's not just this big dark empty space. Now, I do think that they are pushing for cards because of the Dish DVR Hopper 3 that has the YouTube app. That means that the cards will be played on that, unlike the annotations. So they are looking at trying to promote the app a lot more and give access to YouTube through apps, which means, yes, cards are going to become a big deal. So that's all we have for today. Let us know what you think. What do you think about the YouTube card system? Do you think they're trying to push the apps too much, or do you think that pushing the apps is right where they want to be? And what about the CEO comparing Netflix to YouTube and explaining how YouTube can be better for creators, whereas Netflix is better for already created content? And what about Stand Against Evil? Is that a show that you're looking forward to, or are you kind of a little on the edge, a little on the fence about that? How do you feel about Vine being shut down? Did you ever use it? Were you a fan of it? Are you going to be sad to see it go? And also, what about the box office? Do you think that Inferno is going to bounce back and beat out the Halloween movie coming in the coming weeks? Or do you think that a Medea Halloween is something that is unique and inspired enough and comedy enough and big enough of a movie that it's going to push through and get good box office results even after the season has passed? Please leave a comment down below, send us a tweet or a Facebook post, and let us know what you think, and let's talk about some of these topics. As always, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions.
If you wanna see
Cheerio.
and also lazy, then you should meet me and my friends. Even though we got no money,
Hi, guys.
sure is so funny. Yeah, everything's better
Oh,
with
you guys
just
playing the game of
ooh,
football?
ooh, ooh. We don't worry about tomorrow. We just what we want.
Your sense of style is very, you cross-eyed inbred muck spout.